Hurrah!
At your service.
At your orders, sir.
Your Majesty.
At your command.
All stand to attention for the King of Albion. Today, you will decide what is to be done with the Bowerstone Old Quarter, site of the Battle for Albion. Paige will offer her proposal. Reva shall stand against her.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, our victory came at a great cost to the city. You vowed to fight poverty, but our actions have made the problem worse. You must act now. I ask that the old quarter be rebuilt, and its former residents rehomed. You wouldn't just be helping those in great need. You'd be sending a message to your people. They're scared, Your Majesty. Let them know they can count on you.
Your Majesty, the old quarter was indeed devastated by your glorious triumph, but as its name subtly implies, it was old. The cost of rebuilding the area would be a colossal waste of money, and the people who called its decrepit shambles of streets and houses their home are better off without it. Besides, one must question what they have to offer our society. Why build homes for the inept and the unskilled? I recommend you reject Paige's proposal and keep the money for more deserving endeavors.
It was our actions that caused the devastation, Your Majesty. But the final decision rests with you.
We destroyed the old quarter. It's only right we rebuild it.
The King has reached his decision. The old quarter shall be rebuilt, and its former residents will have their homes returned.
Thank you, Your Majesty. This will be a very popular move.
I suppose there may be something to be gained by rebuilding part of the city. It shows our sense of industry has not yet been dampened. Very well, Your Majesty. Despite the current climate of fear and great national need, Reva Industries has once again struck a blow for the honest man on the street. The sad sight of the decayed and war-torn old quarter is no more. We are proud to present the new old quarter.
It breaks one's heart to see the treasury so empty. If we don't do something about it, we will all die. And I have some very definitive retirement plans. As a matter of fact, our very first order of business might have a bearing on our financial situation. The time has come to decide the annual town guard budget. As you can imagine, the people like to complain about crime and the lack of safety on our streets and are calling for more guards than your brother was ever willing to pay for. You have 3 choices, Your Majesty. Leave the budget as it is. After all, the people have grown accustomed to murder, theft, and contraband. Increase the budget and fill the streets with soldiers keeping the peace. A rather costly solution. Or take a more considered approach by lowering the budget. For what is the point of a safe, well-policed kingdom when it is too poor to protect itself from certain annihilation? The people will be delighted, Your Majesty. But will they thank you when they are dead? Not unless they are turned into some sort of awful zombie creatures. That isn't what is going to happen, is it? Anyway, this will leave a sizable gap in the treasury. Unless you can cover the expenses out of your own pocket, I'm afraid we shall be in dire straits indeed. Let us now turn our attention to the rest of today's business. Here is the royal schedule I have prepared. As you can see, you have a busy day in the court, but a tremendously enjoyable one. Decoration is a passion of mine, and I simply cannot wait to see your choice. The interior designers await you in the throne room.
Ah, hello. Fancy a bit of counting, do you? Have you some financial concerns? I love that colour of gold, and the brilliance is quite good. Hard to go wrong with the divine heaviness as well. Fancy a bit of counting, do you? This room is quite enormous. I wonder how much work it will take to fill it. The armory is at your disposal. Pistols sacrifice accuracy for speed, but can still pack a significant wallop. If you want to inflict the greatest possible... You have a full royal suit. I must say I am in awe, even without anyone wearing it. All right. Permit me to say that you look...
Ready to serve, Your Majesty?
Greetings, Your Majesty.
Ladies and gentlemen, today you decide on the decor of the castle. Two of Albion's greatest interior designers have come to present their suggestions.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, I am Herman Worthy, and I have a design in mind that will blow your little royal socks off. Imagine a celestial scheme capable of lifting the shadows that haunt these halls. A fabulous balance of serene hues that announce to the world, I am a strong, virtuous leader. Hear me roar. But also, look how pretty my home is. You are an enlightened king. Let the heart of your castle be enlightened too.
Celestial? Serene? Pretty? Do you wish to be known as a ruler or as a fool? I am Sybil Maleficent, Your Majesty, and I can tell you that people respect what they fear. This castle should be a fortress of dread. I propose that we flood the rooms and corridors with blood, or at least a suitable paint substitute. Let all those who look upon this palace know terror, whether they be your subjects or your enemies.
It may seem trivial, but appearances can affect the opinion of the entire kingdom. The choice is yours, Your Majesty.
I wish this to be an enlightened castle.
Oh, fabulous, Your Majesty, fabulous! Your castle will be a vision of purity.
And what's more, fashion and good taste must choke down their nausea.
At your orders, sir.
Today you decide on the future of Aurora, Your Majesty. Kaelin will speak for her people. Riva will dispute her cause.
You may speak.
I am here to seek the protection you promised. It is too long since my people felt safe, or knew of life without suffering. We were honored to join your fight to claim Albion. Now it is time we joined your kingdom. Do what your brother failed to do. Help us to rebuild Aurora and protect it as you would your own land.
There is nothing so noble as embracing other cultures, and I, for one, could not be happier to count Aurora as part of Albion. But surely they must work for that privilege, and I happen to know just how to put them to good service. There is an abandoned mine in the Auroran desert that holds enough materials to benefit the whole kingdom. Let us employ Kaelin and her people to gather what resources there may be. That can be their payment.
You are talking about forced labor.
Well, let's not get bogged down in semantics. It's a fair transaction.
I know you will not break your oath. You understand what we have been through.
The choice is yours, Your Majesty.
I will keep my promise. Aurora will become part of Albion, and its people will be our equals in every way.
The king has spoken. Aurora shall be rebuilt as part of Albion, and equal to every other part of the kingdom.
Thank you, Majesty. You have proven to be a man of honor. Aurora is proud to stand at your side.
Welcome to the new and improved Aurora, an oasis of friendship, camaraderie, and many other lovely things. Visit the city that Riva Industries rebuilt from sand, stone, and corpses. Enjoy the sunshine, the odd local customs, and the heavy soldier presence. Aurora, a light blooming in the darkness.
A most brave decision in court today, Your Majesty. Aurora might have proven to be a rather profitable resource, but I'm sure we can find other means of filling the treasury. As a matter of fact, we could already have stumbled upon such an opportunity. Aurora may not turn out to be a waste after all. It seems that a group of Albion explorers visiting Aurora have discovered a rare diamond in the desert. They heard the legend of this extraordinary gem from the locals, and understandably set out to find it, without a moment's regard for their own lives. Which may go some way to explaining why only one of the explorers returned in one piece. He came back empty-handed, speaking of the hideous desert beings protecting the treasure. Think of the glory, Your Majesty, the adventure, the romance, the large sums of money we stand to make. The diamond is located in one of the caves beneath the Auroran wasteland, reportedly the site of an ancient abandoned temple. You need only to take it.
Well, congratulations, you've made a friend. In addition to being jolly good company, friends can give each other gifts and even discounts at shops that they own.
I hope you're well, my friend.
Hello, Your Majesty.
Ah, Your Majesty. Hello.
A little...
Yes, sir.
Your Majesty.
Sir?
Yippee! Everything all right, Your Majesty?
My lord. Ready to serve, Your Majesty.
It's more beautiful than I dared to imagine. And heavy, too. Our experts estimate it's worth a small fortune. Of course, now the question becomes, what do you wish to do with this fine stone? Shall I deposit the money from the sale into the treasury? Or perhaps you would prefer the funds were channeled into, let us say, a more personal account? A truly selfless act. I am constantly in awe of your generous and noble spirit. Putting the safety of your people before your own reward. Bravo, Your Majesty. Bravo. You have shown yourself to be a most talented monarch. The treasury is positively overflowing. You might even consider borrowing a little for yourself. Of course, it never hurts to earn even more. Who knows what the future will bring? With that in mind, I would like to discuss the thorny issue of child benefits, which were abolished under your brother's rule. There are vocal elements within the community who are clamoring for us to bring it back. In the interests of the Treasury, and of the long-term welfare of the people, I have a counter-proposal. It's somewhat radical, but rather brilliant, if you don't mind me saying. We charge people for every child they have. This would keep the population low, but more importantly, the Treasury high. Is it really fair to bring new life into such an uncertain world? And won't that gold go to help the children who have already been born? Of course, you may also choose to keep Logan's policies. The matter is entirely in your hands. Very well, Your Majesty. The breeders amongst the rabble will be ecstatic, I'm sure. Perhaps you are considering making a personal donation to the Treasury to make up for the shortfall. It is entirely your decision, as always. Shall we proceed with the rest of your appointments? Here is the royal agenda for the day. As you can see, you have 2 audiences in the throne room to begin. I've heard rumors that Reva's latest proposals are both scandalous and delicious. It should be most entertaining.
How are you today, sir?
All stand for the king.
Mighty sovereign of all.
This hearing concerns the future of the Bowerstone Shelter and Orphanage. Paige will speak for the disenfranchised people of the city. Reva will dispute her cause.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, the shelter has long been the only refuge for the homeless, the poor, and the orphaned. And until we can change the whole world for the better, it will continue to be their only hope of survival. Isn't it time we held out a helping hand to those who need it most? The shelter is underfunded and the building has fallen into disrepair. Invest in the shelter and orphanage, and perhaps we can begin to create a better future for Albion's forgotten people.
I could not agree more. The city and its people are in dire need. But it is not charity they require. It is love. I propose we use this dilapidated building to help both them and ourselves, for love and money have always gone hand in hand. Let us inaugurate Bowerstone's first brothel.
A brothel?
Brothel, bordello, whorehouse. The name is unimportant. What matters is that the people get the love they need, and we get their money.
Yes, it's for your majesty to decide. Refurnish the shelter and orphanage, or convert it into a house of ill repute.
The poor of this city have suffered enough. We will renovate the shelter and orphanage.
The Bowerstone shelter shall be refurbished at the Crown's expense.
Thank you, Your Majesty. You've done the right thing.
As you wish, Your Majesty. The parentless tykes and their destitute friends shall have a palace to call their own. Are you a beggar, too lazy to own your own clothes? Or perhaps an orphan, aching for a bowl of gruel? Then come to Riva Industries Shelter and Orphanage, where you'll find food, beds, clothes, and even new parents. No matter who you are, we care, even if you don't deserve it.
Today, you will deal with a pressing environmental issue, the disposal of the city's waste. Riva will offer his proposal. A member of the Morningwood community will stand against him.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, I'm sure you will have noticed a certain aroma permeating the city of late, even more nauseating than usual. I fear it is not merely the stench of the underprivileged. Bowerstone is beginning to have a serious waste disposal issue. We require an inexpensive and efficient solution, and I believe I have hit upon one. Now, currently, part of our waste is being disposed of in the Morningwood Marsh. With very little effort, Riva Industries could redirect all of the Bowerstone sewer system to flow directly into that region. As you know, it's a desolate place with no financial or cultural value to the kingdom. There could be little discussion as to the logic of this decision.
Hang on, this isn't right. Not right at all. We're all children of the soil. It's in our hearts, it's in our blood. It's under our fingernails. What I mean is, we're all equal when it comes to dirt, like. From dirt we come to dirt we go, yes? We who reside in Morningwood have as good a claim to being clean as anyone. And what of Morningwood itself? Its nature spirits, its woodland elves, and water fairies. Do they not deserve freedom from pollution too? Don't destroy paradise with your urban dregs, man. Channel the waste. Be one with the cycle of life. You have all these, like, factories and stuff, don't you? Turn one into a, what do you call it? One of those things, a sewage reclamation facility. Right on.
What shall you decide, Your Majesty?
Morningwood is to be left unspoiled. We will find other ways to deal with Bowerstone's sewage problem.
The King has spoken. Morningwood shall not be used as a waste site. The Sanitation Committee will look into safer alternatives.
Groovy. You are like a majestuous eagle, Your Majesty. You were in touch with your inner innards. Granny Nature thanks you from, like, the bottom of her heart.
A pity. I must admit I was rather looking forward to breathing fresh air, but I'm sure Your Majesty knows best. There's nothing as important as the health and hygiene of our citizens. As such, Riva Industries is delighted to announce the opening of the Bowerstone Sewage Recycling Facility, because there can be no affluence without effluence.
The day is almost over, Your Majesty. Only one more appointment left. Page has requested a meeting in the old rebel headquarters. How very cloak and dagger. I wonder what she wants.
Welcome to the Sanctuary.
Sir?
Hooray!
Way!
Greetings, sir.
Yay!
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Wow!
My lord.
I can't believe it's you!
It's not every day a king walks into the rebel headquarters. You've changed the world since we last stood here.
you had a lot to do with it, Paige.
But we still haven't changed things enough. Without Logan's troops, crime is becoming a serious problem. There's one man in particular, Nigel Ferret. He's making this city his own. Every criminal in Bowerstone reports to him now. He's too powerful for me to deal with, and he's not easy to find. But I know how you can get to him. Good. Kid went undercover with a gang of robbers and found out their plans. They're going to strike the tavern in Bowerstone Market. If you get there in time, you can stop the raid. And at least one of those thugs must know where Ferret is holed up.
If you cooperate, you won't get hurt. But if you give us any trouble, we'll kill you. Now, just so you know we mean business, I'd like one of you to give us trouble, so we can kill him as an example to the rest. Who's it gonna be then? Oh look, we have a volunteer. The king, no less. Have at him, fellas.
This guy's rich! Reckon her up, looting his corpse. Watch out!
It is no longer advantageous for any of us to frequent the hideout in Industrial. Presently, I shall inaugurate a new centre of operations in Bowerstone Market. You've been provided with a key which will permit access. Please endeavour to prevent its transference to an unauthorised individual.
Hello, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
Hi there, darling. Oh.
You again. It does tend to obviate the entire objective of maintaining a secret hideout if your enemies can simply infiltrate whenever they've the inclination. Lads, perform the specific services for which I employ you. Expeditiously.
Huh?
Kill him! Fast! Ooh, that's an impressive magic trick. Stop! That's it, you...
I can't live one more day in this cell.
Come on, lads, we can win this one.
I believe I can state with relative confidence that your efforts are in vain. Even should it transpire that you vanquish my associates, this door is completely impenetrable. In addition to which, this cell contains a secret egress through which I may abscond whenever I desire. Meanwhile, my compatriots shall brutalize your person.
There you are, then.
You haven't lost your touch. I'm surprised his men were foolish enough to fight you.
Now, truth be told, my superlative intellect notwithstanding, it would appear this is not, in fact, the specific cell I so confidently referenced earlier. The one with the secret exit has 2 beds. All right, you have prevailed, Your Majesty. I concede. However, I entreat you to entertain a certain proposal.
You have nothing to offer, Ferret. It's over.
That pronouncement is objectively devoid of merit. I happen to have on my person a substantial quantity of currency. Let me go free, and the money is yours. You royal miscreant! This grievous malefaction shall be rewarded with equally grievous retribution.
The treasury is simply bursting with wholesome, nutritious gold. I sometimes spend hours staring at this glorious accomplishment. Our wealth surpasses all expectations. I must congratulate you, Your Majesty. But the kingdom demands your attention once more. The time has come to make a decision on Albion's drinking laws. Under Logan's rule, our citizens are restricted in the amount of alcohol they can purchase per day. As you can imagine, this has proved a rather unpopular measure. And yet many respected members of the community think the law does not go far enough. They would like alcohol consumption wholly abolished among the commoners. They feel, rather reasonably, that it leads to improper behavior and raucous public spectacles. These concerned nobles are willing to pay handsomely for the change in policy. Meanwhile, the commoners themselves would like the restrictions completely lifted, claiming they infringe upon their freedom and their rights. You cannot please everyone, Your Majesty, but you must make a decision. As you wish. Let the streets be filled with poor, drunken revelers. Perhaps it will take their minds off their impending doom. This will leave a noticeable gap in our budget, however. If you are feeling particularly generous, you may wish to make a personal donation to bridge that gap. Let us move on to other matters, Your Majesty. You have a busy day in the throne room ahead. Samuel, the head of the Brightwall Academy, is ready to plead his case. I sincerely hope he isn't after a handout, though I'm sure Master Reaver will be the voice of reason, as always.
At your service. Hello there, Your Majesty.
His Majesty, the King of Albion.
Oh, here he comes. There'll be a judgment soon.
Today you decide on the status of the Brightwall Academy, Your Majesty. Samuel will speak for the town and its scholars. Reaver will dispute his cause.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, it was your father who opened the doors to Albion's greatest seat of learning. Under his rule, knowledge and culture flourished, and so did the people of Brightwall. I ask only that you return to the wisdom of those days. Your brother closed the academy down, but it is in your hands to restore it. There is no greater proponent of the arts than myself, and I celebrate knowledge in all its forms. But our people are frightened and confused. The last thing they need is knowledge. Allow them the benefit of ignorance. Let only those who are truly prepared make use of the academy. The elite of our society will pay handsomely to indulge in erudition.
But only the rich will be able to afford to learn.
Precisely. Why give wisdom away when one can charge for it?
What do you wish to do, Your Majesty?
The Bright Wall Academy will be open to all who wish to learn.
The Bright Wall Academy shall be reopened, and Albion will once again have a free centre of learning.
Oh, thank you, Your Majesty. This is the start of a new day for us all.
Very well. I will make the arrangements at once. Stimulate your intellect in the newly reopened Bright Wall Academy. Suckle the knowledge from the land's greatest minds and avail yourself of the best library ever assembled. Everyone, from the most impoverished genius to the wealthiest idiot, is welcome. Bright Wall Academy. Whatever you earn, it's the place to learn.
The court summons Page and Reaver. The matter before you today is the future of Bower Lake. Reaver will offer his proposal. Page will stand against him.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, a recent survey of Bower Lake has found that the waterbed is rich in valuable metals. Now, as amusing as it would be to make workers hold their breath as they mine these resources, I fear it would be impractical. Instead, we have no choice but to dam the river and drain the lake of all water. Once that is done, we will have a ready-made quarry, ripe for the plucking. It will be a pity to disfigure the landscape so close to my former home, but it is a sensible course of action in light of our current needs.
Bower Lake is the last piece of natural beauty remaining in Bowerstone. It belongs to our history and should be protected. Don't take it away from us. You'll be taking away part of this city's soul with it.
Oh, really?
Now that we've finally freed the people of this city, are we going to destroy the one place they can find peace?
The decision is yours to make, Your Majesty.
Page is right. We must protect our natural resources. Bower Lake is to be left untouched.
The King has ruled. Bower Lake's natural beauty is hereby protected by order of the Crown.
Thank you. Let's show the world Albion is worth defending.
Is a pretty view worth more than a treasury full of gold? I bow to your greater wisdom. As someone whose home has overlooked the resplendent Bower Lake, I am pleased to declare the official protection of this natural wonder. May its water drown anyone who doesn't appreciate its beauty.
I trust the court was not too dull today. In any case, I'm confident your final task will be most enjoyable. A loyal and wealthy member of our community has offered to make a sizable donation to our treasury. Her only request is that you go to Millfields to make the collection in person. A perfect chance to stretch your legs, Your Majesty. You might have...
Fancy a delivery job? I've got a letter that simply must reach Brightwall as soon as possible. I cannot stress how imperative it is that this vital communication...
Do you believe in animal rights? Well, do you? Those bastards, the greedy pie makers of Bowerstone, certainly don't, that's for sure.
Look, I know where the thief is. He fled into the woods.
Madam, I understand you want to recover what you've lost, but those woods are simply too dangerous. It would be suicide to enter them without combat experience, or training, or skill.
I don't want to enter them. I want you to.
Right. I was talking about me.
Oh, just forget it. Ah, Your Majesty, it's such an honor to have you here. If only fate hadn't conspired to make me look like a fool. I so wanted to make a contribution to the noble cause. What's the use of a priceless heirloom if we're all going to perish in who knows what frightful way? I had taken the statuette out of the family vault, ready for your visit, only for a common thief to take it in broad daylight. Can you believe it, Your Majesty? The thief ran into the woods, and naturally the soldiers are too scared to follow. Why must the uneducated be so superstitious? But you know no such fear, do you? Find the villain, Your Majesty. He has stolen more than a statue. He takes with him the future of our kingdom. Beware the woods, Your Majesty. The soldiers may be superstitious, but there's no denying dangerous beasts lurk within. Good luck. I know you will succeed.
Awaiting your command, my lord.
Looking for the statue, Your Majesty. Follow the white Balverine.
Right, you monster. Prepare to meet your... Oh, I'm so sorry. For a moment there I thought you were a Balverine. Damn things are always trying to get through our defences. We burn silver nitrate in those lamps to keep them out. Kills them pretty quick if they hang around for too long. If a lamp goes out, well, I don't like to think what might happen then. One went out just recently, but we got it lit again fast. The man responsible, this bloke Connor, got punished. Severely. Before he disappears into the forest, he tells us there's gonna be a reckoning. He's probably in 25 different stomachs right now. That's my reckoning. You can come on out, everyone. It's safe.
Woo!
Your Majesty, I've been expecting you. You've been through the village, have you? Charming hamlet. It's full of warm, wonderful people who'll give you the shirt off their back and condemn you to death for one simple mistake. Anyone can fall asleep on watch. You exile him into this forest and call it justice? But enough about that. You're here for that statue. It's quite a remarkable thing. It did everything the legend said it would. And now I don't need it anymore. It's funny how things change. So if you want to take it back to that prig in Millfields, it's yours. Nearly free of charge. All I ask is a small favor. Destroy those silver nitrate lanterns. Then the village will get a taste of justice. The choice is yours. And it's a simple one. How simple? If you decline, my brothers will kill you. Ah, well. I suppose it was too much to hope for. Still, your choice won't save the village. Now that I'm the leader of the pack, we've got some brains to go with our brawn. We'll lose a few of the weaker members, but we'll deal with those lanterns on our own. In the meantime, killing you will be a good way to, shall we say, get the blood flowing. Stronger than I imagined, Your Majesty, but not strong enough. Prepare yourself for death.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You've saved us from certain destruction. We're in your debt. You'll always be welcome here, should you wish to return. Connor had this on him. It looks like a Belverine. It's yours if you want it.
Oh, right!
Yes, go on!
Did you have to work hard to get all that money?
This is going to be a
or is
turn.
it...
Ah!
At your service, my king.
You're back! Did you find the thief? Did you recover the statue?
Of course he did. He is the king, and thus infallible. If you will hand the statue to me, your majesty, I will endeavor to appraise it.
Does anyone have any peanut crucibles?
You found it? Oh, I can barely contain my tears. Oh, excuse me, Your Majesty. I can't let you see me this way. And please, make good use of it.
A magnanimous gesture indeed. Your subjects are lucky to be ruled by one so giving. With the fatidic attack not far away now, it fills one's heart with confidence and supreme satisfaction to see the treasury filled to the brim. I have taken to sleeping beneath the gold and can report nothing but restful nights. As for today's first order of business, you may have heard about the dire situation the kingdom's economy finds itself in. Logan's policies always kept our cities on the edge of bankruptcy, and the panic caused by the fast-approaching darkness has only exacerbated the situation. I'm afraid the only way to stop this slide into ruin is to bail out Bowerstone's financial institutions. The people are looking at you to save them from economic disaster, but remember that doing so may condemn them to a much darker and bloodier fate. What shall we do, Your Majesty? You are such a giving, magnanimous person. Very well, I will make the arrangements. Life will be easier for your subjects for a while, but the treasury will not easily recover. I only hope we haven't thrown away our chances of survival. Of course, you could always replenish our gold supplies by donating from your personal funds. Shall we proceed with today's agenda? Kalin, the representative for the Auroran people, has requested an audience with you. The court awaits in the throne room.
Long live the king! At your command.
Good to see you, Your Majesty.
All stand to attention for the King of Albion.
Magnificent and mighty.
Today you must decide how much protection to grant Aurora. Kalin will offer her proposal. Riva will stand against her.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, as you know, the threat from the deserts that surrounds my city has not diminished. The darkness could fall upon us once more at any moment. Aurora is part of your kingdom now, and I ask that you grant us protection. Build a desert outpost that can warn my people should the crawler attack. It shall allow us to leave the city in time and ensure the survival of your loyal subjects.
A desert outpost? I've never heard such nonsense. What shall we do next? Erect taverns under the sea? Plant crops on mountain peaks? It is a foolhardy suggestion. Why should our valiant soldiers suffer sunstroke and chapped lips in a distant land when they could be protecting the people of this very city? Is it really worth risking the lives of all the people outside these walls for a mere alarm system? Of course not. Let us leave the funds and the soldiers where they belong, right here.
The darkness poses a threat to us all. But Aurora has already suffered more than its fair share. The final decision rests with you, Your Majesty.
Aurora is under our protection. It is our duty to build this outpost.
The King's decision is final. A military outpost shall be erected in the deserts that surround Aurora.
We shall not forget this gesture. Aurora thanks you.
Ah, you are a whimsical monarch, and that is why you are so beloved. Very well, it shall be done. Reaver Industries is proud to present an exotic tale of romance, adventure, and sand, the Desert Outpost.
Bring forth Sabine of the Mistpeak Dwellers. Today you decide on the fate of Mistpeak, home of the Dwellers, Your Majesty. Sabine will speak for his people and their land. Reaver will dispute his cause.
You may speak.
I come here seeking nothing but what was promised me and my people. You pledged to restore our home mountains and our right to dwell in them. We have fulfilled our end of the bargain. We have paid with our lives to sit you on that throne. Now you must fulfill your end. Undo the damage your brother did to our land, and our agreement shall be satisfied.
Your Majesty, this sounds both an unnecessary expense and an impudent demand. What value is there in a few trees languishing amongst snow and rock? This is not the time to indulge some idyllic fantasy. Those forests are a resource, and we are in dire need of resources. I propose we expand on your brother's initiative and take what nature offers so readily. Say the word, and I will transform the worthless wasteland of Mistpeak into assets we can use to defend Albion.
These hands are not yet so old or weak that I can't wring that pretty little neck of yours, Reaver.
The refined retort of a true mountain goat.
You made a promise to Sabine, but it's up to you whether you decide to honor it.
I will keep my promise to the Dwellers. The Mistpeak Mountains will be restored.
Mistpeak shall become a protected region, and the Dwellers shall be granted authority over its forests and resources.
You are true to your word and your honor. The Dwellers will stand by you till the end.
The forests of Mistpeak are our greatest national treasure, and now, thanks to Reaver Industries, they have returned to their past splendor. Dwellers, birds, and bunnies are free to roam, laugh, and kill each other as nature intended. Who needs all that lumber anyway?
Happy anniversary, Your Majesty. 1 year as King of Albion. Doesn't time just fly? To celebrate this momentous day, I have prepared some fantastic events. First, you will stand still for several hours while a local artist paints your portrait. Then, you will choose the 47 varieties of flowers you wish to be cast at your feet as you parade through the city. Oh, and you will need to sign thousands of autographs, of course. Let's see, you will also be fitted...
The day has come, King. It is time for you to face the darkness. But you will do so in your true form. Over the past year, you have made decisions that reveal your nature, and which have affected the lives of all your subjects. You have done what many would have thought impossible. Not only have you raised an army to protect your people, but you have accomplished this while acting as a noble, benevolent, and popular ruler. But you are more than a king. You are a hero. You are Albion's champion, its protector. This coming battle is the reason you had to take Logan's place. Only you can defeat the creature that dwells in the shadows. If you do not, all your efforts will have been in vain. Now go. Do what you were born to do.
It's here. The darkness has reached Bowerstone. Reports indicate that our defenses were able to hold off the worst of the first attack. But if we don't act quickly, even the armies we prepared for this day will not be enough.
We have to get out on the streets, now!
Today we fight for Albion!
For Albion!
Greetings, Your Majesty.
You go up against the army.
Defend the city with your lives!
Nice! That armor is thick, but you can still shoot through it. Good work! Got it? Good.
It's here!
Yes!
It's here!
No armor is stopping you! Two crack shots like us, we might stand a chance. Does that thing ever shut up?
We have to find
How
it.
come we don't get armor
We
like
have to
this?
save our people.
The Lightbringers have come! Without speed.
But this is the kingdom of unlight now! This is the kingdom of death! Death beats its wings for you.
Paige!
Ha!
This isn't real. It isn't real.
Have you ever seen your own mirror?
us.
Boy!
Don't listen to it! It will drive you insane! Don't listen!
Find that bastard and kill it!
You have done such hurtful things. The people you know shall rejoice in your death. Dead fingers talk. Dead fingers whisper. Dead fingers claw at 1,000,000 eyes.
These things are tough! I can barely see. Where are they?
You can never escape darkness. It flocks to you always. We drink the sounds you give us. The cries of your young, the gurgle of a freshly ripped throat. We give thanks for your desperation.
That armor is thick, but you can still shoot through it! They're dying out there!
The Dark Guardian shall come and protect us.
2 crack shots like us, we might stand a chance! We need to get past this thing.
The Dark Guardian shall protect the children always. Are you thinking of your loved ones now? How you will never see them again. Do not provoke us with the bone gleam shining from your broken bodies. It is a transgression against the night.
That was possibly the most amazing thing I've ever seen!
I can feel it. We're getting close to that thing. Where are you? Show yourself!
The lost sheep returns to the flock. No one ever leaves the darkness behind.
No! Walker!
Do you see? Do you see what you have allowed? We are all shadows now.
Hey, I can't get through!
Look at what you've done to me!
We might stand a chance! Yes! These beasties pack a real punch!
Take it out of me, please! Don't hold back! Don't! I'm ready! You made us do it. You made us.
I'm sorry.
You took away the darkness. It's been inside me all this time. But it's light now. I can see the sky. And it's light. I don't think I can fight anymore.
It's all over, Walter. We won. We beat it together.
Do you remember the stories I tell you when you were a child? There was a great king once, the mightiest hero of them all. Remember what you would say?
Teach me to be a hero.
You've done me proud, boy. You've always done me proud.
Oh, Walter.
I think old Walter would have liked it out here. He was always a fan of looking tall and stony. I can imagine what he'd say if he was here now.
Shut up, Ben.
Exactly.
It's time I return to my own castle. If ever you need to save the world from another abomination, you know where to find me.
My people shall never forget what you have done for them. We are proud to be part of Albion. I shall return to Aurora in the knowledge that we may at last enjoy peace. Farewell, Your Majesty.
Walter was right about you. You're a hero in every sense of the word. The hero Albion needed.
What will you do now?
I will continue to serve you the best way I can. I belong down in the city. The people there will always need help. Goodbye, my king.
You have done what I thought impossible. You are the ruler I could never be. You don't need me anymore, and Albion will heal easier without me.
Well, King, old chum, ruler supreme, pal, you did it. You saved the kingdom, and it's my turn to say goodbye. I'm not cut out to be a general, and I think I'd like to start travelling again. Or maybe see if Paige needs any help down in Industrial. But before I go, let's send off our friend in style, shall we? This one's for you, Walter.
This is the world as it could have been, devoid of color, devoid of life. It is thanks to you that it isn't so, and you did it without becoming a tyrant. The people love you, and you have banished the shadow of your brother's reign. You kept your promise to Sabine and his people, when it would have been easier to turn your back on them. A noble gesture. You swore an oath to Paige to better the lives of your people, and you did so even in the face of great danger. You did for the Aurorans what your brother would not. He broke his promise, but you proved to be the better leader. Without the strength to make those choices, we would not be standing here now. Perhaps we shall meet again one day, King.
Aren't you going to tell me my future?
The future will reveal itself when it is ready to do so.